In the ever-evolving world of free-to-play games, one model has reigned supreme for years as the superior means of generating revenue: the gacha. Love it or hate it, its predatory mechanics have funded some of the biggest titles in gaming, from Genshin Impact to Wuthering Waves, Uma Musume, and many both unknown and known to the mainstream. Gacha has been the monetization model that uses a combination of marketing, FOMO, and exclusive cosmetics to not only generate revenue, but also allow the game to be free for many players. At this point, it's become a necessary evil not only for retention, but also for the financial life of many games. But then, weeks before its debut, Duet Night Abyss came on the scene and did something that shocked the Western Hemisphere. They announced the removal of their gacha systems from characters and weapons. A strange move, but a power move for those that wanted a game to not only respect their time, but also their wallets. See, gacha games have been notorious for having padded out story content, specially catered endgame, the works, to try and pressure you into spending or trying to keep a player hooked onto a game long term. You could say in an attempt to upgrade them from an indefinite free tier to a paying tier of some sort. But Duet Night Abyss made the audacious move of removing that system from characters and weapons and moving it to skins and other cosmetics instead, which don't have a bearing on power or progression and is there just to flex. So how do you obtain the main draw of this game? Simply by playing it, albeit a lot of playing, but playing nonetheless. They made a few changes to make it a bit more feasible. No stamina system, unlimited sprinting for endless exploration, grindable currency with the exception of world bosses, and other things I'm not aware of. I've only been playing the game for just under a day. But it's safe to say that you can get a holistic experience and content and characters without spending $1 unless you wanted to. And I think that's my main issue. If someone can get the same product of similar quality elsewhere for a lower price, then they are more likely to go there. So free becomes a no-brainer in this case. But what is the initial draw to spend? Exactly how sustainable is this model? So I see this in a couple of ways, and they all don't look too good, at least right now in the game's infancy, assuming that things stay the way that they are. So characters are available indefinitely, with the materials needed to obtain them available via various domains and story progression, so simply by playing the game. You can also outright buy them from the shop if you're not into the grinding. So that begs the question, when would a person be incentivized to spend on characters? Answer: if the grind isn't worth it. One of the, and this is going to be a little weird, benefits of the gacha systems of old is that luck-based system. I can just do some overworld exploration, maybe do an event or two, maybe do some endgame, pray to the gods, and I get the character in a single 10 pull. Easy. I can get the character I want without spending money and without some sort of strenuous grind. And that's part of the appeal, because while the chances are not 100%, they aren't exactly zero either. DNA goes in the complete opposite direction, where you buy the characters from the shop or grind materials for them, which can take a couple of dedicated hours to a few days depending on how much time you have at your disposal. And that's something that hasn't really been addressed or solved with the introduction of the system. The grind might be worth it to some because the prize is guaranteed, but if the juice isn't worth the squeeze, then it doesn't matter what's on the other side for others. So the developers have to carefully create a gameplay loop or grinding process that's balanced. Yeah, balanced enough to keep free players engaged enough to keep playing to get the characters, and tedious enough that incentivizes people that don't see it as worth it to spend. Now, before I get accused of doom posting a game off launch, let me ask you and be honest. Are you okay with doing the same gameplay loop for every single character and weapon in this game in perpetuity, assuming there aren't any optimizations? Now, of course there are going to be optimizations, and by the time I'm recording this, there already is. And I mean, how could there not be? There will always be snags in the machine that keep it from going as smoothly as possible. But at the same time, you should never invest in what might happen, rather what's in front of you right now and if it's worth it to stick around. The game might still be in its infancy, but the goodwill stocks are booming when it comes to the player base, at least those that are grateful and trusting of a company taking a risk and putting out loads of content for free. And while free is good for the end consumer, it's not that great for a company that needs to sustain itself. Part of the reason why free tiers in any company offering some sort of entertainment or service exists is that it's being funded by those that do invest or spend money. A perfect example I found is Notion, a very popular productivity app with a free tier that obviously has its limitations, and paying tiers have more benefits. Business and enterprise users are their biggest customers, and in them paying for Notion, free users get the opportunity to try and use Notion in perpetuity for free. It's the same for any gacha. It's dependent on those heavy spenders that either have money burning a hole in their wallet, those that want to skip the grind, or those that genuinely believe in the value this game brings. This is what allows free players to play at all, because being free-to-play friendly doesn't exactly pay the bills. As much as time is an investment, let's be honest, me spending time in a coffee shop doesn't automatically mean I have sway on how the business does business. Like I said before, besides your traditional battle passes and various currency packs with your typical top-up bonuses, cosmetics are the main draw of how, at least at the present, DNA plans on monetizing their system. And while that's great, it's very unsustainable and unpredictable, relying entirely on a subjective taste of players who may or may not like a game for any reason, or don't want to purchase them at all. And why would they? I'm one of those people that like cosmetics that are given for free and will use them if they look nice, but if it's not that important to me getting to and from my goal, then it's a luxury at best, and at worst, it's a distraction. And if people are like me and feel the same, and feel that cosmetics are just skin deep, then right now, besides some materials that are, again, farmable via grinding, what is the incentive to spend money on the game right now? My only hope for the game is that, well, people spend money if they truly, genuinely find some value in it. Because much like Goodwill, a free ride can only take you so far before someone has to crack open their wallet and pay for gas. It seems like DNA developers are, ironically enough, gambling and betting on the goodwill generated by this new model, along with cosmetics to sustain them, which it will for the next few weeks at most, before it inevitably tapers off. I'm no game developer, but it doesn't take one to know that it does take a good chunk of change to create and maintain a game of this size. But let's see what the future holds, and let's not be too pessimistic, because Duet Night Abyss has taken a plunge that no other game has, taking a monumental risk, allowing us to have a discussion about the potential truly free-to-play future could look like. What are your thoughts? Are you going to try the game? Are you currently playing it? All that jazz and more, jot it down in the comments below and let's talk about it. This was Bon Stone, and we'll meet back soon. Laters.